Well, let's see if this works now. Yeah, that's fine now. Whatever. Video games, guys. Video games. Interactive medium.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction.
Okay. Why did it stop? I'm so fucking angry.
I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay,
Weird.
That's about it for introduction.
Whoa.
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Whoa, God.
Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Alright. So it's just a shooter.
Hostile alien life forms inbound.
There's no reload. You can jump still.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
Okay.
Begin ship evacuation.
So, just go up here then?
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
That's pretty good. Well, I'm out of ammo, and I can't reload.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Whoa. Alright.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
The whisper machine.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Fuck that.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
I might as well. I mean, I can't even shoot or reload, so kind of useless.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. Oh, I guess I have to do it again. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright. This is kind of a better
causes
thing.
You to start floating.
This is better.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse.
Huh.
I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. November 2008. Damn, son. Oh, alright. I'm kind of expecting jump scares too.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
The past was behind her. Alright. Okay.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment
future could not be
combining
seen.
motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more
Why does
complete.
The future keep changing?
Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works.
Yeah.
Because it gets out quick.
Agreed.
Okay, next one.
Oh god, like I am so expecting jump scares. It's like I have a bag over my head or something. You are now entering...
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Alright.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Huh.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh,
so why?
I thought I was
if Coda's
stopped.
not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay, let's go do it. Let's do it like up to right here. Oh wait, I'm just stuck at full speed now. I can't slow back down. Standing on an X, staring at a bear for 3 hours. A stranger. Whoa. You walk around talking to people, pursuing their hopes and dreams.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Start in a room until you realize you can just walk through walls. A normal game where you have to scream
Coda
into
would
a mic
often
every
tell me
15
that
seconds.
He didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Game of only posters. Okay. A stranger appears. You run a shop inside your own body? That's great. Alright. Well, nothing too interesting here yet. Never mind, there's a door here.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
What can I do? I can jump. I can crouch. Is that door open? No, doesn't sound like it or look like it. Okay, there's a wall here. Can I just open this door? No, I can't. What else do we have here? Another wall. Alright. Can I jump back up here? I cannot. Can I bunny hop up there? Nope. I don't actually know if there's like even a way to do this. There must be. Just walk along the walls here. Wait. Ha!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
This guy's a tricksy one.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Whoa! Amazing.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Huh. Okay, we're back here. You are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. Cool. The Great and Lovely Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll keep walking then.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I don't want to go down there. I want to go this way. I can't go that way. Let's see what else there is. I guess it's just down there. Yay, 3D platforming, my favorite. You know what? Let's take the easy way down. Huh. This is kind of terrifying.
This prison,
whoops.
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Huh.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's skip that.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Yeah, first-person platform is what I meant. I fucked up. I fucked up.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. there's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
All right. Speak. You there, did you come up from above?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there was these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? I'd prefer not to tell you, after all, we've only just met. What? But you don't understand. We're trapped here. That puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get back there. Do you understand? This is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you there is nothing I want more. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Who are you? Just go hang out there in the blackness for a bit. You may not like it at first, but it'll grow on you, eventually.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Huh. Well, this is a lot calmer.
Lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination. Which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna...
Okay, game just closed.
Well, his games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed.
No, I can still hear it.
Idea behind them.
There it is.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Great. Maybe you should get Coda to make this game about you talking about his games, because his at least seem to run. Boom. Roasted. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this,
How
but
do you beat
this game
this
is
game?
not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
Whoa, holy
I saw him
shit.
working on this very level.
Can
and
you
it was
guys
just
hear me?
So different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like,
Hello.
I have to be friends with this person. In
reasonable.
retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me.
Good
and
lord.
I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Okay, good to know.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs.
We can't jump
and
down.
Has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Huh.
But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I guess I could see that. How the fuck do I open Sesame? Can I just push this? Someday I will meet the person. Blah, blah, blah. Feels weird without context. What the fuck is going on? Where you leave notes. I failed to write anything here. Stop, turn back, proceeding further. Oh, okay. What is that painting? It's kind of cool looking, actually. It does not matter if you ever get over there. Hey, don't talk to me that way. I think this is not going anywhere. Need somebody to talk to you. This is depressing, kind of. In a way, anyway. I'm not really sure what the fuck is going on. Well, I mean, I know what's going on, but he really seemed to just design levels kind of for himself. Like, design little games for himself. Which is totally fine, but just interesting. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
That's heady, Doug.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh my god, I have been here for literally an hour. What the fuck do I do? Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. Second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers, please.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space
Heading back to the
spaces,
start.
before you
not so
move
bad
on,
here.
you get to pause.
No solution.
Just for a moment.
No second switch.
A few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
There's only one thing over here now. How do you leave notes? Wow, that sound is infuriating. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak. Huh.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it. See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Put a giant hole in the ground. Oh, alright. Okay, now what about the wall of the room? Huge picture of a horse. Couches. Alright. Close enough. I think we should light this room up. A skylight, full ceiling window. Let's open this baby up. And a table. You need a table. Tables were invented in 1935.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good, go over the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Now go to the left side sofa and move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. Oh. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start, be taken back to your prison. Like, what's start here? It's obviously not that. Just walk back to the start? Oh, okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
All right. Anything? Whoa, okay. Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the escape tutorial. I was in the reverse prison.
This is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
What's it like to escape? It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be the exactly the same as before. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy being who you are right now. It won't last. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? They just talked to me for a while. They asked me how I felt about being imprisoned. Yeah, that one. What? That freed you? How does that work? It will make sense. Okay, I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Huh. Interesting.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself? To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might have to clean this entire house by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Run to the bedroom and make the bed? I clean anything else? Give me shit to clean. Straighten the pillows on the sofa. Oh dear, looks like somebody spilled a drink. Clean that up. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No. No, it's stupid. Sorry, never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Alright. Last I checked, the tub needed cleaning. How about you scrub it down the best you can? I don't even see what I did there. Are there still books scattered all over the floor of the bedroom? Perfect. Yeah, perfect. See, he knows. How about you come and clean these
After the intense
dishes
set
off
of
the
prison
table?
games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing.
It does,
It's
actually.
the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present wants to smooth out.
Like this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. I get it, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Yeah, let's clean up the books. Pillows on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
And these folks coming home to a messy couch. Question.
But,
do you enjoy
of course,
this?
It can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
I was kind of enjoying that, honestly. I felt like I had a purpose.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you
This
love
one
at
gets a
members
bit
only
goofy.
prices. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop's going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy.
About halfway
so
through the
easy.
game, the perspective shifts.
Whoa. This is a key. How do I achieve it with no effort?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh, okay. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Can I jump up here? No. This is... This is really weird.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Huh.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
God damn it, that scared me. Huh. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you start out leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It is your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Hello. That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Ah, the prison. I want to stay here by the light. I don't want to go down the big scary hallway. Okay, yes.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
Good lord.
But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Alright. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. What's going on? Help, I'm blind. Please someone talk to me. The SS Whisper. Amazing. Oh wait, okay, there's an actual fail state in this one.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Okay. Wait, what? Medical. Can I interact with you? I need to try to find my supplies. Okay. I can't see anything. Can't die like this. The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. I'm bursting with creative energy. No, that isn't truthful. Oh god, give me another option to say! Okay, speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. It's draining me.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off,
keep going,
he's
keep
never
talking.
been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Huh. Hello? Whoa. Where did this island come from? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Ah, that was so simple.
You can't
I can't believe
talk
I never solved
yourself
it before.
out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
These are just words on walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Sure, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying creation is easy. It is easy and never stops being easy.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Jesus.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Alright, 2011. The Machine. Word. Let me in. We captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you'd like. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the Pret, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about this machine. It calls itself Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
Stop feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. Think carefully, I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. Alright, I will speak to them for you. My friends, falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Can I jump down here? No. This is actually depressing. Right here. So cool, though.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Whoa.
And so, as I'm thinking this,
oh yes,
I
kill the
realized
fucking
that
typewriters.
I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Destroying everything.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with the thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
I hope this doesn't end the way I think it does.
Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze. And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned the house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Hold on, I'm busy. Boobs. 151617. Oh crap. Oh my fucking god. That delay. Okay. There we go.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. did I screw up?
There's so many answers to that question. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Stop adding lampposts to them. Wait a minute.
And then you stopped. I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
I think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet. It's fine. You're not my problem to solve. I do hope one day it clicks and you make peace with that thing you were wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Well, I see what I'm talking about. Don't say anything. I knew it.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Huh.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. 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 I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Yeah, why the
Maybe
fuck
he
would you
just
ever
likes
do
making
that?
prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Fuck are we?
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
What a weird thing this is. What a very strange thing. Like, it's literally basically an apology game. Kind of amazing, actually. What a douche that dude is. Like, seriously. So what if he had some mental issues and he was using video games as a way to kind of get frustrations and stuff out? You're gonna go and tell everybody in the world, like, look at this guy, he makes great stuff because he's psychologically fucked? No compassion at all. I don't even feel like it's appropriate to say anything. Like, I don't know what to say. It's so weird. What a strange way to use this medium. I mean, he essentially just basically took this dude's diary and gave it out to people for his own fucking self-gratification of, like, look at this amazing artist I found, sort of thing. All because of his own insecurities. Gonna start raining or something? Oh, shit. Please do what I think you're gonna do. I mean, of course it's going to, right? Raise me high. Holy shit.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave, let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
Well. That's the beginner's guide. That's gonna take some pondering over. That one. That's definitely gonna take some thinking.